Hello, everybody. What's going on? How y'all doing? Happy Wednesday. It's hump day. Hopefully we can, guys, get you guys ready for your evening, regardless of if you're getting ready to go out, you're getting ready to tuck your kids in, do some homework, watch some TV shows. We're gonna catch y'all up on some reality TV review. What are we doing? RHOA and Love and Marriage Huntsville. So let Karma through and let's just get this thing started. I got notes, y'all. I'm so proud of myself. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
We ready.
She growing up. She growing up. So listen, y'all. I'm gonna start like this. Karma, just on a scale, 1 star to 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
What do you give this episode of RHOA? This was season 15, episode 4. Just so y'all know.
2.5.
Okay, 2.5.
A solid 2.5.
I'll probably give it a 2. That 0.5 a little too generous for me. I would give it a 2.
You know what? You know I'd be Christian. That 5 is called grace. 0.5.
Yeah.
Grace.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. We've been giving y'all grace for a while.
We only 4 episodes in, though.
That's true, but
we get like 20 out of them. We only 4 in.
We don't need the stale episodes. I felt like this was kind of a stale one. You know what I mean? Like, I understand it be having them filler episodes, but I feel like it's too early to give us fillers. And y'all gave us an episode with no Kandi, and Kandi probably the highest paid housewife at this moment. So
and still probably was paid and she wasn't in it. That's the game.
Very true. So, all right, y'all. Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 4. Let go. All right. So, Kenya's rehearsing for her drumline performance. Y'all know she's Kenya Moore hair care. They're getting ready to go to Alabama for a classic, and she's going to perform with the band because they love her song. Is that a song, Karma? When she was like, they're going to play our song, they have a song? Or is it Twirl?
You know, I have never downloaded certain things from iTunes from all of my faves. Like, you know, I got a Mellow Mito shirt on, but I told you last time I don't download the music. So if there is, I am unaware because that's never graced my playlist.
Okay.
I only know what's on there. I didn't even do Tardy to the Party. Mm-hmm. Like I wasn't really, so maybe. But it is catchy. Like, just cultural wise, we do know Kenya Moore hair care.
Yeah, that's not a song though. Like, that's a chant.
But she had the drums when she came in. So I'm assuming it's like that. Maybe a repetitive thing. And then some cute breakdowns with the drums and some boom, boom, dum, 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 dum. You know, maybe something like that.
I mean, that'll be cute when the marching band is doing
That's right, because she's doing the marching band. So maybe it's going to be Kenya Moore hair care. Then they do some
our song. I was thinking that she had like a single out. Maybe she doesn't. I know she got the twirl song. You say I'm fabulous. Twirl. I don't know. So now I'm intrigued to see this performance because I want to know if she got a new song out. That's kind of what I was like. Is it a song now?
Well, she said she, failed at BravoCon, which I didn't even know that. So she told me new information because I didn't even know you performed at BravoCon.
You played it off well, though. Did you see how she fell? She kind of tried to make it like a drop. She made a drop.
Sure. I didn't even know that happened till she told us. So okay. I guess it's whatever song she was performing there.
She was performing Twirl. That song. That's why I was like, Kenya want to be Beyonce so bad, so we just gonna let her have it.
I'm not mad. I'm not even mad. We all want to do it sometimes,
but you not Beyonce, baby. But I'm gonna give you what Karma said is some grace because I really do want to see this performance. I want to hear the song. So.
Apple said new search. Apple Music said no results found. I put Twirl Kenya Moore. I took out the word twirl and just put Kenya Moore. Hold on, Kenya Moore artist. Maybe it's not.
Look, this is live.
No, I don't think.
No,
I don't.
No.
Her picture is there, but when I click it, it's not giving. I don't know what that song is, but okay. Apple said no, thank you.
Okay, well, I got Apple too, so I guess we ain't gonna be getting no song. One thing I did want to highlight about Miss Kenya was this confessional wig. Y'all. So I'm a probably go ahead and say blonde is not gonna be your thing, Kenya.
It's just that wig. I think
the wig.
the high. See, this is me giving the grace. I think the highlight. I don't think it's the color. I really think it's the wig. The wig ages her.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good on. It just doesn't look good on her. The bangs is too low of a bang hanging.
Yeah,
they too bang hanging. You know, I don't understand. I don't like the highlight. I think it's just the wig. I think it's the wig.
Yeah, I was not feeling it. I wasn't feeling it at all. Not even a little bit. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that? Hey, Ray. Do y'all think that that's a good look? Ray is a hairdresser, cosmetologist, beauty, makeup artist, and all that. Is this the wig?
Oh, Ray, come on and be honest with the people. Is that it? Is that it?
The wig, or I don't know. Is it the color?
I think the color was. You could have dyed that black and it wouldn't have.
You would have still did the same
thing. I really think it's the wig.
Okay, we don't get rid of that, Kenya. We don't want that. We don't want that.
And Kenya is so beautiful. Her confessionals usually give.
Yes,
it's definitely the wig. Come on, I'm a pseudo stylist. It's definitely the wig. It's
okay. Wig. All right. Well, don't let me invest in that wig, okay? Because I probably won't look good on me either. So let's go. She tells Monietta in this little rehearsal thing that she basically didn't tell the girls that she's performing. She's gonna get them a little surprise. So they don't know she's about to Kenya more hair care. They think they're just going because it's gonna be a little girl trip. They think they're just going because she's throwing a trip. I don't know what they think they're going for, but they going. So we get to Sonya. Sonya is we get to see her family dynamic, which is something that Karma wanted to see more of. So they heard you, girl. They heard you. And she actually was talking to her assistant, which is her brother-in-law, like saying, you gotta do this. Got the phone with him. And then she tells her mother and her sister, who's also on her team, and they are roommates living in her home as well. She tells them that her husband is basically kind of ready for them to take their butts back, like he ready for his house back, some peace and quiet, some privacy, they ready to go. So you can tell her sister received it a little bad. Mom was like, don't take it personal, but she was like, it's kind of hard not to. I feel like the first episode, you was kind of letting us know you was ready to go. So why you mad that it's time to go? I was confused about why she was so offended.
Because I think two truths exist here. So This is what I think. Because I done seen the Sonya's sister. I don't even know her name. I just call her Sonya's sister. Sonya's sister, Metal's sister, has been drugged. Okay? People are like, if you ain't like it, you call me a dingbat, you'll have to get out of my house. What I think it probably happened is that Sonya, because she had made money, I think she tried to utilize her family as supports. But I don't think the family necessarily has had any time to focus on individual goals. And I think the sister is resentful.
Okay.
So I think that's why she's like, when we saw that scene where she's like, I'm cooking dinner and at 6:30 we eat, but you're going to take them outside. Like, why would you do that? I think she feels unappreciated. And I think she's resentful that she spent the majority of the time making sure that Metals reached the finish line.
Right.
So on the flip side of that, Sonya is a people pleaser and a flip flopper. You didn't go in there with Ross and I have came up with this timeline, right? You was real sure. Ross said y'all gotta go instead of saying, listen, we came together. This is what we said. This is where we're at in the time frame. Let's think of a plan. You didn't say that.
Yeah.
Because Sonya is a flip-flopper people pleaser. And I think that also shows, and I keep telling you, I think Sonya is codependent. I don't think she wants to be in that house by herself. Ross is always gone. I don't know why he got a trucking business in Texas instead of Georgia, but he's always gone. She didn't want to have no baby because she said Ross is always gone. That was one of their issues in that fake baby storyline season. And she says Deuce is much. Deuce looks hyper. And I think she depends on her sister sister and her family to get her house together. So I want to say both sides have some selfish, self-centered reasons as to why y'all have had this cohabitation this long when everyone's grown with kids.
Yeah.
And I want to get to the bottom of it. And I know you're gonna watch this one day, Metals. I'm gonna get to the bottom of it.
Okay. All right. I agree with that.
You ain't gonna keep saying like you don't understand. I'm crying because I don't know why they upset. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I am sure your sister has probably wanted to do hair for Beyonce, and maybe her because why is the brother your assistant? What type of networking was he gonna do, and how was that particular job getting him closer to his goal of real estate?
True.
You gonna quit playing in my face too. I feel like
while he was her assistant, he was uncomfortable. I don't know what kind of stuff she got going that makes him uncomfortable, but maybe you need to, get a different assistant. Like we find out later.
I wanted to be an assistant though. If I go and I'm like, Candy, you got to 7,000 in your following. What can I do? What kind of engagement content? I don't want to be in a position that's not getting me the information I need to get to my goal.
Right.
So if you would have been like, sure, go get my laundry. How does that help me understand how you're running your social media?
Right.
So if you're going to put people in position, why did you make him your assistant instead of calling some people in Atlanta that I'm sure and having them work under him?
Mm-hmm.
So Metals can miss me with this. I don't understand why they're upset shit. Yes, you do. And the sister can miss me with your attitude because you've been wanting to leave for a long time. You probably just put so much effort into your sister, you won't know where to go. You ain't getting no plan.
Approach too. I don't think she liked the way Sonya brought it to her. Like you said, it could have been,
Ross also should have been there. It should have been a family meeting.
Yeah, family meeting. So we're going to get a goal, maybe 3 months, whatever. You know what I mean? We're going to plan something. We help y'all look
1 to 2 years is what
they only did 1 year. And after 1 year, he's ready for them to go.
So now we're at the 1 year mark where I'm like, I think that's okay to say, let's start evaluating for a 12-month plan. But I think that should have been a family, conversation, everybody involved, sitting down, eating some chips and dip, and saying, what do we need to do and how can I help you? But that wasn't it. So I don't believe Metals.
Well,
I don't believe her.
And there we go. So moving on, Marlo, she got a Halloween shoot with her nephews. One thing, I guess the reason why I even wrote this down, because that was kind of a scene. But one thing that stood out to me was Marlo was talking to, I guess, her makeup artist, whoever the lady was, and she was telling her how she met Courtney, and Courtney's actually going to help, introduce her to somebody to help her get her records expunged because she wants to be able to carry, because she had people did a home invasion in her house, whatever. So she don't feel safe. She wants to have, a gun on her protection. So Courtney knows some people that's going to try to help her get her records expunged or get her pardoned or something like that. And one thing that stood out to me was Marlo was like, Candy say she worldwide and she want to help the world, but she ain't never helped me get my records expunged. What? Why was that even a stipulation on Candy being worldwide? Candy actually had you on, created some type of reality show with Todd where Marlo was going to be on there years ago. Because she was supposed to be on there with a few other people in Atlanta, including Funky Dineva. And it ended up not going through because something that Marlo did. So, she's been, helping you in other ways and was friends with you for a while now. Why does she got to help you get your record expunged? Is she a lawyer? I was confused on why she even put that on Candy. That was weird. That Marlo was very weird this whole episode, though. And as Karma said last week, that young lady needs some healing.
And I have a part 2 for Marlo and that ass. And I got a part 2 for it. Let me tell you what's so interesting about Marlo. You were just saying at the last reunion that you can get into doors in Paris that Candy may not get into. So why the fuck is you not known in Georgia? If you can get to Paris, why you can't get your record expunged to Georgia? More importantly, wasn't Faye your girl? Ain't she a lawyer? Nene,
That's just a lawyer.
all these like you've been a friend of the show with these records and mug shots. Mowgli, because y'all know I keep changing her name. She was Orphan Annie last week. She Mowgli because Mowgli was raised by bears and wolves. She has no truth about her, right? Because of her trauma and her childhood background. Okay. So Mowgli has been on this show for 10 plus years as like a friend of the show or something, right? Mm-hmm. So during all of this time with all of these records and all of these mug shots, right? Why didn't you have Nene ask her as your friend? Because you came in on Nene. Why you didn't ask her to help you expunge your record? I don't understand. Marlo don't need no firearm because as we're going to get to, Marlo is emotionally unstable. And so I don't think Marlo needs a firearm because Kandi ain't even in this episode and you done mentioned her name 55,000 times.
Girl.
Mowgli needs help. And that is ridiculous to think that Kandi woke up one morning and said, I should expunge Marlo's record. I know I don't have no record, but let me figure out a way to get Marlo's record expunged.
That was just the weirdest. It was so weird to me that was where her mind went. Like, you ain't worldwide because you ain't offered to get my record expunged. What? She's not Kim Kardashian.
Because she was. And you could have added Kim Kardashian as well, because you know everybody, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you're saying that you're like, somebody in your own right. Then why haven't you gotten your record expunged off your name? You opened your legs to a billionaire. Am I correct? So why didn't you tell your billionaire way back when that you had this record that you needed expunged? Mm-hmm. Make it make sense. But the issue is, I keep saying it, Marlo needs validation. Mm-hmm. Marlo wants to be accepted because she ain't never had it before. And she wants that acceptance from Kandi and Kenya. She's suffering from an imposter syndrome. She got the peach, but she don't believe it. You don't have to do all of this. Yeah. You don't have to attack and make up fake shit in your mind.
Yeah, it's too much, Marlo. We're gonna want you to get your peach back, girl. Like, and the sad thing is, I felt like after all this time, maybe because I ain't watched last season. I don't know.
Did. It was a travesty. You didn't.
Okay. Because I ain't even trying to go back to catch up. That's how bad it is. But because I didn't watch last season, I feel like I was like, yeah, Marlo had been on this show forever. It's cute that a friend finally got a peach. Ooh.
What's funny is I never thought Marlo needed a peach.
Okay.
I never saw Marlo at that, and it's the same reason I have now. Marlo has never exuberated like front cast. Gotcha. Marlo seemed to always kind of try to get in where she fit in. Yeah. And I didn't think that when Marlo was by herself and you have to give real storyline, I didn't think Marlo knew how to do it. Not that she can't do it, but knew how to do it, because I think that Marlo is still very insecure about a lot of things she's went through. That's why she does this labels and shit. Wearing all of these accessories and things. She's trying to be someone that she couldn't be when she was younger. Sure. So when you get into the forefront, I never felt Marlo was ready to be in that forefront. Because see, Nene had bad wigs and was a stripper.
Yeah.
Is an iconic housewife among all franchises. Nene Leakes will always be remembered. But for whatever reason, Marlo can't seem to find her niche of being just who she is. Like even Cynthia. Cynthia may have been boring. Cynthia was on there for 10 years and Cynthia was balanced among the cast. She stood in her lane.
I never thought Marlo deserved a peach, but I wasn't like, oh, nah, she couldn't. You know what I mean? Like, I was kind of like, oh, okay. She's been on there long enough versus bringing in somebody new. I was like, I don't give her a chance. But seeing her now, I'm like,
Marlo reminds me of those coworkers that been there for 55 years. However, they still don't need to move up to supervisor position. They do real well in the spot that they're in. At this point in time, Marlo did real well as a supporting cast member. And Marlo has not, who needs a peach? Monyetta.
Yeah.
There's something about Monyetta
I'm interested.
That will get that you're interested in. And she ain't had to do no rah-rah. She ain't had to do below the belt. It's something about her presence that she's like, I already can do this shit in my sleep if I wanted to. It's something about Mayetta that I'm like, even though people may say Mayetta might be boring, that's fine. So was Cynthia. She still was a balance in the show. Everybody ain't got to be a dominant personality.
Right.
And RHOA is failing because there's no balance in the cast.
And speaking of Mayetta, I don't have a picture of her. She did a interview with Carlos King. I started watching it. I didn't get to finish it.
I saw it.
But she said that she was supposed to she was a contender for the Housewives of Atlanta long ago, where we might have got a wedding special from her because she was engaged to a very famous singer and had children with him. So yeah, but anyway, so Marlo been doing this. She been about this. You know what I'm saying? She was supposed to possibly get a peach years and years ago, probably when the show first started. But anyway, moving on. Marlo, Courtney comes and shows up, and yeah, I don't care.
You know what? When Courtney said, does Kandi have a cultural environment that incites violence? That little line she did.
Yeah.
I want Courtney to keep talking because you 2 steps away from a cease and desist, bitch. Because that's a big accusation to throw out. If she can show that these types of accusations is hurting a business where you're trying to say she's maintaining an unsafe atmosphere and it's not true, you can go ahead and get hit with a cease and desist. Because why would you say that? Why would you say because girl, you know, we used to be at the Ritz and celebrities and shit. They used to have shootings all the time. And I never was like, the Ritz per se is the reason why shootings happen. We know that in Cincinnati, in the club atmosphere, there's you know what demographic you bring, and you just know there's going to be certain things that pop out, right? But I didn't necessarily always be like in my mind that this particular place incites violence. I just know the type of people that go there or the type of neighborhood that it's in, that it's inevitable for certain things to pop off. So like I didn't care for that shit at all. Courtney is a lame, and she is I told you in our inbox, she is the worst friend of the show next to Crazy Tammy, who brought them nephews on that Miami trip in season. She brings nothing supportive.
Yeah, I don't know what Courtney's purpose is. I just feel like if you come in as a friend and you coming in hard, like
opportunist,
clearly, like clout chasing so hard, and it's not you. We don't like that. The RHOA fan base do not like that. We give new people a hard time anyway, and you coming with that kind of energy to OG. And
it ain't legitimate. And that's what we see. We see that it's not legitimate beef. You have no reason to go this hard.
Yeah, but she's going way too hard. Like,
if honestly, you had a real beef.
Kandi is forgiving. Kandi is an actual forgiving person.
Girl, you a liar.
I understand how she do.
Girl, you a liar. You know them tourists be holding grudges.
Well, she holds it, but she can still work with you because Kandi about her bag. She'll shoot with you. She'll film with you. She'll still do whatever.
Not Courtney. Courtney can't never come back. You know why? Because there's nothing that Kandi. There's nothing. There's no reason. Like, okay, her forgiving her group members of Escape. They have history. They were friends. They grew up together. I'm gonna forget. She don't know Courtney from a can of paint. You're not coming back from this.
But Courtney. I feel like if Courtney wouldn't have came so hard, that's what I'm saying. Like, Courtney's still going. It's 4 episodes in. You still got this vendetta against Kandi. It's like,
it's lame.
I think if the first episode would have happened, they had that little thing, they could have got back on track. What I'm sorry, I came with that energy. I just kind of felt offended when I heard you were saying, you know, whatever. It could have got better, but it's like you really don't like Kandi, and you want to like sit and find ways to shade or say certain stuff. You know, first you start off with the incident at the Harlem Nights thing, and then it's Kandi bring ghetto people to establishments. Now does Kandi have violent, you know, like environments? Like you just like really you got it out for Kandi, like girl.
I don't even think she dislikes Kandi. I don't. Because according to the first episode, speak on it. The producers called Kandi and said, did you know this girl named Courtney? So you obviously use Candy's name to say y'all were in similar spaces. I don't think that she dislikes Kandi. I truly think Courtney is an opportunist. That's why we getting Bryce from Groove Theory.
Yeah.
You had to make it known that was your baby daddy, but y'all not together, but it's complicated because y'all co-parenting a 24-year-old. Girl, back. She's trying to position herself as a peach holder, and I think that she felt like it was just better to be on the wrong team. I don't think there's no real beef with Kandi. I don't. I think the shit is all made up.
But she messed it up. She totally messed it up, and that's on you. I don't like Courtney though. I'm sorry.
Nobody does.
I don't see it for y'all. I just don't see it for her. I guess. So Sheree is at her gynecologist getting her fibroids checked because it's been out of whack. You know what I'm saying? With her being of a lady of a certain age, menopause is kicking in, and she said her cycle ain't been regular, and it's been affecting her love life. And have you seen her man? He got big D energy. Okay, so yeah, we got that soundbite. You have anything to say about that soundbite?
Girl, I cannot believe that we taking a real medical issue that you have. A real medical issue. You have fibroids. This affects millions upon millions of Black women. Mm-hmm. And I would be okay if you were like a little bit in denial. Like, a lot of times people don't want to accept diagnoses. Like, I was like that with my son when he first, like, I knew something was wrong, but like I kind of mourned the loss of my son with autism, that he wasn't going to be the way or the expectations that I thought he was going to be. And I was in this weird space. I would have been okay if Sheree was authentic about just saying, you know, like, I want to get a second opinion just because, like, I don't want to have surgery, or I don't want the guy that I'm interested in not to be interested in me. But Sheree never gives us vulnerability. You can't tell me that you over here with some community dick and some wrinkled ass hoodies, and that's why you can't sit out for 6 weeks. So you want to get a second opinion on a vagina. But if you were honest with yourself and transparent with the viewers and saying, I know that the man that I'm interested in loves my body and sex, and I'm a little concerned that if I can't produce that, he's not gonna fuck with me. I would have fucked with Sheree with that. But Sheree never gives us authentic. She stays in delusional. Yeah. Sheree can go to this after this season. She really can. And I'm ready to move on.
I don't know why they brought that. I mean, I guess the little Dayton Martell thing did have some people interested just to see, you know, like the transition.
Over. But we don't. It's already over. Did you see that on the blogs? It's already over. He got a new chick. We about to watch you for whatever many amount of weeks act like a whole clown, and it's already over by episode 3. Y'all broke up last week, and it's already over. We get to see you act like a whole clown, and instead of just wearing your clown nose by saying, I like this guy, I know he has big dick energy, and I really know that he likes my body, and I'm just concerned that, you know, or that people compliment me on my body all the time, social media, different things. I don't want to be scarred. I don't want to be down, blah, blah, blah. Like, we would have fucked with Sheree with that, because that's a real insecurity people can identify with. Yeah. But you trying to tell me that she buy nothing is the reason that them $200 wrinkled hoodies that the website wasn't even up for, the fashion with no fashions, is the reason why you can't wait 6 weeks to get these fibroids either shrunk or removed? Girl, bye. This is a real serious medical issue.
Oh, yeah, and it is. I've seen a couple of reality shows where they brush over fibroids, and it's weird. I wonder why they do that, because that is a very big issue amongst Black women, like a big issue. I have, like, in my friend group, you know what I mean? It's like 8 of us. It's like 4 that deals with fibroids. So that's a very big issue. So it's weird that they always brush over that.
Very big issue. I knew like a coworker who had fibroids. She was a white woman, and we worked at Humana some years ago, and she had got pregnant with her son, but she had fibroids. And just the fact that she was a high-risk pregnancy, how scared she was. She didn't think she was even going to be able to have kids, but like her son came out of nowhere. Like, this would have been really, really good. But instead, her and Giselle playing in people's face.
Yep.
I can't stand them.
Maybe it's a Bravo thing. I don't know, but they both Bravo shows.
Sheree and Marlo could go because they're scared to be vulnerable with their audience.
Okay.
And what we are looking for and why people like gravitate when we're talking about like RHOA as a whole and like ratings dipping or whatever, what we're missing is vulnerability. What we like to see on TikTok and other things is people in bonnets, because that's how you feel, or people that are talking about like real authentic issues that grab the audience in. And every time one of the housewives, with the exception of Kandi and Kenya, in my opinion right now, we'll see more with Drew Sidora later on, but when it comes time to be vulnerable, to really tell people maybe you don't know what to do or whatever, like you don't want to give us that. Right. You're trying to make it seem like it's work. You're not booked in. I would have believed this from Kandi. If Kandi said, I don't want to get a surgery because I don't want to be out of work, I would have believed her, because we all know Kandi is about a bag to her positive and her detriment. We know that you being busy is like a big thing for you. I would have believed that coming out of Candy's mouth. I don't believe that, Sheree. No one.
It would have been a really good storyline for her. It would have been. And it's in the
nothing.
Just drop it. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Because again, just with Sheree from past seasons that I did watch, she was the bone carrier. And the reason she did that was so she had to tell us her business. You know,
and we need a bone carrier, but I also don't want your storyline to be a bone carrier. That's why Sheree always irritated me, because you're a bone carrier with no additional story.
That irritated me. The whole bone carrier person irritated me, because everybody else has to share their life and give us something, and all you're doing is going back and forth
every single time.
I didn't like that at all. So
whether it was Kim Zolciak, Kim Fields, Phaedra Parks, you always are bringing the information back. And my issue was in that time frame, we never got any vulnerability from you for Sheree. You are a grandmother. Like, how was that journey? Like, we never
get none of that. That's the crazy part. So again, Sheree could go. You're right.
Sheree can really go, because Sheree, what we're looking for, especially millennials who have been watching this since we've been out of high school, because millennials, the biggest like generational thing, we go from like 97 to 81 or 96 to 81. What we're looking for is vulnerability. What we're looking for is authenticity. And Sheree, you have been here, and we know you're Gen X, and we know y'all been through shit, but we don't really know what that is. Like, you won't give us anything authentic, like to your emotions. I'm so sick of her. She can go. What can you say? The most fired housewife. She can go. She really can. She can go, and she's not a friend to Kenya. She's trash. Or Kandi. She can go.
Yeah, she's not. Yeah, she's not bringing nothing. Martell and her is over. It's over. Bye, girl. Sanya, her brother-in-law quit. Tyrell quit. He said they said living together and working together is a lot for him because the lines are blurred. Also, it's affecting her relationship with her sister. She said not him, but it's affecting relationship with her sister. And then Sanya's upset because she wanted to. It was her idea to have the family come and wanted to all build.
It sure the fuck was. It sure the hell was her idea.
And it ain't working.
Sure the hell was.
So we get that little scene, but her brother-in-law did quit, and I said, "Good for him." I'm not mad at him.
Really, because since Eric from Real Housewives of Potomac, he's the new producer of RHOA and Potomac. I really want to know. I want some confessionals with the brother-in-law, since you're giving everybody confessionals this year. Remember, we didn't get like friends of the shows. They didn't used to get confessionals. People is getting confessionals around here. I really wanted the producers to break the third wall and ask in confessionals, what did you do? Where did y'all live? What was your source of income before y'all came down to Atlanta?
Yeah.
I want those questions to be asked so I can get like a fuller picture. Did y'all sacrifice something thinking that it was going to be better in Atlanta, or did you really have no plans? Like I wish they would have gave him a confessional about
a little bit more information. Yeah,
absolutely.
We got the trip, Kenya's Birmingham trip. The girls are meeting at Sheree's house because Kenya's driveway is trash.
Period.
And Sheree only live up the block. So the girls get there. Candy's not coming. Drew's not coming. Drew's sick. She got the flu. Candy is booked and busy. She ain't coming. And that's Kenya's BFF right now, Candy. And she like, my BFF ain't gonna be here. This is gonna be terrible. Most people late, but Marlo real late. And you know Kenya don't like her, so she kept saying, we can go. She was trying to go because she don't like Marlo. Marlo get there, and they get on the bus and they leave. On the bus, only thing that I found that was interesting was they asked Kenya about eating booty because clearly she the one that ate booty before. I don't know what else. I don't have anything else. Do you have anything about the bus trip?
People eat ass. I'm tired of people acting like people ain't eating ass. People ain't pissing on people. Whatever sex kinks is out, we all know people doing it. Get over it. Build a bridge. Next scene.
Okay. We get to Alabama. The girls are going to, because check-in, you know, it was late. They got a little activity before they check in. She got them going to learn how to buck. Okay. They got an instructor going to teach them how to buck dance. And Kenya actually has like a little plan to sneak away with Moneta to get a little rehearsal in for her drumline performance. So she tells the lady they gonna practice their dances and they're gonna have a buck off. And when her and Moneta get back, they're gonna judge the buck off. So then they go and rehearse. They come back, they doing a little buck dancing, and they say Sheree wins, and Sheree gets a room. I felt like it wasn't fair to say Sheree won. That's the one you like.
Marlo won, if we gonna be honest.
I said that too. Marlo had the booty. Marlo was breaking it down.
Marlo won. Marlo was dropping it like when she was like in one of her mug shots. Maybe she dropped a loaf for cigarettes or something. Marlo won that.
Yeah,
Marlo won that
too. And I said she gave it to Sheree because out of everybody, that's the one that Kenya liked the most. She couldn't say Moneta because she was judging, so she gave it to Sheree. And Sheree was not the winner. No. So I was kind of like, that's not fair. Like, I was like, oh, no. She shouldn't have won that. But okay.
But let's be honest. Let's be honest. Marlo shouldn't even have went on this trip because we know Kenya does not like Marlo. So Marlo should just have been blessed to be on the trip.
They should be able to decline. Like, I don't know. I know they can't because
why can't they? This was not a girls' trip. This was a specific Kenya Moore like event, and they have in the past, I want to say, or maybe I'm thinking of Love and Marriage Huntsville with Melanie, but I'm sure if I think really hard, I'm sure there's like an event that was specific to a certain housewife that they said the other person couldn't come. But I may be thinking about Love and Marriage Huntsville because you know Melanie real quick for saying somebody
Melanie not coming, and I like that she tries hard to get her boundaries. Sometimes they force Mo to go to scenes that she really normally wouldn't go to. But I know with Atlanta,
that's what I said. It might be in my mind. Love and Marriage.
And Potomac, Autumn shows, they in Marriage to Medicine, like Bravo shows. That's what made me mad when they would put you in an environment with somebody you don't rock with. Like, well, you gotta go and film with her. Like, you know what I mean? And
because it was specifically Kenya's event. Let's say they went on a girls' trip, which I think we'll see like later on wherever they go out of the country. That's different. But like a catered, we are celebrating Kenya. Why the would she have Courtney and Marlo come in real life?
It's something too with how much money you get with the scenes you're in. If you don't,
that's not Kenya's problem. She don't.
I know, but that's why Marlo wins.
I would have said Marlo and Courtney cannot come. Like I don't want a friend of the show and Marlo coming to an event that's specifically for me. If we're doing an ensemble, like group trip of the girls, that's different. But a specific celebration of kids, I don't understand.
Yeah,
why Marlo and Courtney even came. So Marlo needs to just be blessed she was able to drop a low.
Yeah, and I do. I feel like it needs to be more authentic. Where it's like I don't rock with her, I don't want her to come. You know what I'm saying? And they can figure out their conflict resolution stuff in a different season. But yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to go. If I was Marlo, I wouldn't have wanted to go. So
Marlo does want to go because Marlo wants Kenya and Candy's acceptance. That's the gag.
She's doing a bad job of going about it though.
Marlo's doing what she's taught, just like you saw her. Well, you didn't watch last season, but last season, like Marlo is still in contact with her mother that abandoned her and that was on drugs and different things. Like she still takes care of her. So Marlo is used to being abused and taking people back. That's why she thinks she can talk to you crazy and talk low to you and still think in her mind that Candy should expunge her record.
Yeah, no.
That's the way I think I should be able to give my nephews away And then they should come back and we shouldn't have no beef about it because that's the way her childhood was trained. Gotcha. She doesn't live in a sense of reality. It's everything is trauma based for her. So it makes sense to Marlo. But in our world, it makes fucking sense.
Right. Gotcha. So okay, let's see. They go out to get something to eat. Bryce calls Courtney. And it was weird because he was like, when you coming back, like they do.
Because they still look.
Yeah, because it's weird. It just, the dynamic is weird. But one thing that happened was Kenya was like, I only know one Bryce. He used to be like in the singing group in the 90s. And she was like, oh yeah, that's him. So they call him back. And then Kenya's like, hey. And then she says in her confession that he did look good in the 90s. But basically he don't look good now. I said, girl, don't shade that man. That man ain't done to you. Don't shade him. Don't shade Bryce.
No, he don't, but Kenya wasn't lying either.
You know what? I've tried my hardest to find a picture of him, like a real picture of him now, where I can really see him, because I like on a little thing and on the show, he was like, they was briefly showing him. I ain't get like a good, like we ain't get a confessional. I need to see him to know if he's.
I saw him when he came in Drew Sidora's house. He doesn't look the same as the 90s, and we can argue back and forth about like, well, a lot of people body changes. Clearly, we're regular. So yes, so somebody with money that has the access and tools to personal trainers or just whatever. Angela Bassett looks like Waiting to Exhale Angela Bassett and Black Panther Angela Bassett. So and Gabrielle Union, she don't look like she aged either. So Bryson doesn't look the same. D'Angelo is another one that was a sex craze in the 90s. But he doesn't look the same here. There's nothing wrong with that. Y'all just regular schmegular people that have, you know what I'm saying, that look old. But he does it. Like he come on now.
You know, to say he doesn't look the same is one thing. To say he was handsome then, that's when he was handsome. It's like, okay, I just felt like it was shade to him that wasn't needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, but we know he didn't have to say she knew him. He called Courtney. They talked. You made it to be known that you knew him. Like, oh, we had a movie together. Oh, hey. And it was like, it ain't needed. But again, you like Kenya. I don't like Kenya.
That's Kenya. Kenya shades, and she shades anyone adjacent. Like she gonna shade the baby daddy because you're in proximity of Courtney.
See, I don't like that because Kenya can dish it but can't take it. So I'll be like, girl, stop. Because when somebody say something about you, when your skin, they get you when they hit you hard and you be ready to cry, and you know, so leave that man alone.
I think Kenya can take it. I think Kenya thing is okay. So we're gonna be honest. Kenya has trauma with abuse. Mm-hmm. I think when people, like, especially men, when they get like loud and stuff, I feel like that's PTSD for Kenya. Mm-hmm. But like women going back and forth for her, like Marlo saying your mama don't want you and all this type of thing. Like, I don't recall Kenya crying that season.
Oh, she did. Yes.
Did she?
Yes. And then it was a big deal. Marlo hits below the belt. That was just wrong. It's like, Kenya, you do too, though. You do too.
Kenya only hit below the belt.
Was because Kenya, she can be harsh, and then when somebody, and that was the only reason why I initially liked Marlo, because Marlo was giving Kenya what she gives, because nobody was willing to give Kenya.
In that particular instance, Marlo did not have to say that Kenya mama didn't want her. Because Marlo was always a little bit extra. The only thing Kenya was absolutely asinine was Kim Field's season.
Yes.
And the first season she got on with Apollo and flirting with the married man. You were asinine.
Yeah.
Other than that, with the Portia back and forth beef and all of that, I don't feel like Portia or Kenya was like, oh my God, I can't take this, until she got her ass beat.
See, I don't feel like anyone gave Kenya the same energy she gives until Marlo did that. And I feel like
Nene did.
Who did?
Nene and Phaedra was shaking.
Nene was that's why I want to know.
I kind of agree that y'all only remember.
That was one time.
To the point she was quiet, did a church mouse.
This is the reason why I said I will take Nene and Phaedra back because they the ones that gave it to her.
And like, Kandi has told Kenya in the past to shut the fuck up before. Like when she was late for a trip. I can't remember what season that is because I'm tipsy. But Kandi has also gotten Kenya together to the point she was quiet.
Never tried Kandi the way she tried everybody else. Kenya has never done that. Because she know Kandi will get up in her face and fight her. So that's the difference. That's the difference. Kenya knows who to try, and she tries you and say certain stuff. I think I am traumatized by the Kim Field thing because that was when I was really like, all right, I don't like her.
You know what? But I went back because you said that. I was like, she was bad, and I went back to see how bad she was, and I watched season 8 all day on Sunday and Monday. Right. She was asking. I knew she was wrong, but I had to like remember what was it to make her go after Kim Fields the way that she did. And so I rewatched season 8, and I was like, Kenya was
crazy. I don't know if she just felt like Kim Fields was a more known actress, or she was jealous. I don't know.
I don't think that's what it was. So I rewatched season 8, and from the moment that Kim Fields had mentioned. And Tootie Regine wasn't wrong. She said because there was an incident where Tammy came and Sheree came, and King went back and told Sheree that Tammy didn't care for Sheree. And Kim Fields said at a dinner, there's a difference between information and instigation. Mm-hmm. From that moment on, Kenya said, bitch, what? And after that, everything Kim Fields did, breathed, and said irritated Kenya's spirit, because when they first met, Kenya was like really excited, and in her mind, she was on the same level as Kim Fields. But when that happened, because she knew that Kim was not somebody like Kim Fields brought a book and Tupperware snacks on a boat trip. She knew what she can figure out. Kim Fields how to like. Mm-hmm. Push a button, and then there was the Cynthia thing and the commercial situation. Like Kim was really bothering her from that moment. Mm-hmm. And I think that Kenya wanted Kim to embrace her with being in Black Hollywood. And when that didn't happen, I think Kenya kind of set her eyes on Kim Fields. I don't think she was jealous from the start. I think it was because she just didn't, whatever, you know?
I didn't like it. And I think I still got some of that in me. So when I see like Bryce ain't do nothing to you, girl, don't shade that man. I don't even know Bryce.
That's fact. That's fact. Because Mark is okay with his nose ring, but Mark is trying to get alimony. Now, if Courtney would have swung that back to you, you would have been upset.
She would have. That's why I was like, I just kind of felt like, leave that man alone. Leave that man alone. Because it was
talking, I have to use the bathroom. Just okay. Because it
was messed up to me that you even mentioned you knew him. Like we ran in the same circles. We was in the movie together. Oh yeah, he was cool. Hey, oh, you see what he looked like? You know, it was like shade like that, and I was like, ugh. But y'all, I don't like Kenya. She just So yeah, let me move on. Let's go down to the next part because that was shady. So the ladies discussed the fight between Drew and Marlo that happened last week. I think it was irritating to Marlo because Kenya was talking about it like she was there, and she wasn't there. Oh yeah, you were out of order because you had yelled at her and you did this to her. Marlo, you wasn't there. How you can say this? But you know, Marlo was very aggressive, with the way she be saying stuff. So, Kenya was like, "You're rude. You're cutting me off." So they was going back and forth with that. It was annoying. I'm sure Karma wants to go in on Marlo a little bit more, but I don't care. I don't care about Drew and Marlo's fight. We talked about this shit last week, so I don't care. Marlo's nuts, and we know this at this point. I want to get to this charity thing. So they need to leave to go get ready for this little charity ball. Kenya is telling them they got to dress fashion forward because you know it's black tie, it's cocktail, it's gonna be really nice. She has a certain time that she has to get there, so they need to meet at the bus, like, so they can go. So Monyetta comes down, and one thing we do find out, because they asked her, do the people know you got all these plus ones? Like, plus one, plus one, plus one, plus one, plus one. And Kenya was like, oh, they're going to make accommodations for me. It's me. Remember that. So then they're getting ready. They come down. Moneta has on like a little romper, little cute little silver romper type of outfit. And Kenya's like, girl, you need to go change. That is not appropriate. You need like a little dress or something. Change. That ain't gonna work. So Moneta has to go back. She found a black dress. She's gonna change. In this little thing, two things I noted. Marlo, somewhere up in this place, got a real nasty cough. If COVID was still out there, they wouldn't let you film, Marlo. Kenya, daughter Brooklyn shows up. Brooklyn is like real clingy, wants some mommy time, but Kenya got to get ready to leave. So, we did get a little bit of that. We was talking about that before, how we want to see more of her in Brooklyn. And Brooklyn is just so cute, y'all. She is so she is. So they get to the little events. They see people walking around in hoodies, sweatshirts, jeans, sweaters. So this black tie, cocktail, fashion forward, upscale event is not all so upscale. Clearly, Kenya got the wrong memo, and Moneta could have worn her romper. Okay, so they go up in there. We see Marlo and Sonia. They get there late because Kenya left their ass because she had to be there at a certain time. So they go and order bottles and sparklers. They bring the bottle and sparklers to the table, and it's like causing a scene or whatever. Hey, y'all, whatever. So then they go upstairs. Kenya said, let's go upstairs. It's a nice little area up there. Let's go up there. They go up there. Then the producers tell Kenya they don't want y'all here. They basically saying y'all with distraction, with the cameras, with the drinks and the sparklers. They want y'all to go. So they getting kicked out. Okay, they getting kicked out of the upscale event. Now, we asked if they knew you had all these plus ones, but they don't make accommodations for me. Clearly they didn't. They wanted you and your guests to leave. So then we go back to the hotel. They're talking about it in the lobby or in the room or something. I don't know, common room. And Kenya done went to the rooms, turned in for the night. So they're like, we're going to go upstairs and we're going to go get her because she need to come down with us. She done got us dressed to go out and we done got kicked out. So they all knock on her door. Then Marlo kick her door. She opened her door and she cussed their ass out like, what's wrong with you? God, I'm sleeping, got your mind. My baby's sleeping in here. I'm going to call the police. So Marlo called. What was the Summer thing? Marlo was calling her Summer. I was like,
that's Kenya's middle name.
Oh, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so she was saying Summer come out, and Summer was like, I'm gonna call the police on you. And then that's how it ended. It was stupid. It was just dumb to me.
I'm just gonna say this because I know Kenya. Her ministry is not hosting trips. She doesn't have a historical way to host trips or participate for that matter. Because Kenya real quick to go off by herself and isolate herself if she don't feel it. However, I will say that I don't think that the interaction of the rooms or the dinner was necessarily Kenya's fault because she was a guest. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the organizer's fault. You know that you're talking to a reality show. I'm sure you knew that they were filming. Why didn't they have a section? Why wasn't someone there to meet them? This was giving me they probably placed them in a hotel in Birmingham. This was really giving me a lot of it was on the organizer than that. I think it was probably a black tie event because I don't see why Kenya would harbor that. I think that's what was communicated to her. But when they got there, everybody looked like whatever. And people was trying to ask for pictures and autographs. I really felt that the organizers of that charity event was not where they needed and what they needed to be. And I think that's why I was like, oh, whatever, and messed up. Mm-hmm. Kenya could have just told people the dress code. She didn't have to tell them where they was going, but she could have told people we're going on a Birmingham trip and you will need something upscale for a charity event. Mm-hmm. That would eliminate the Moneta shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you need to at least tell people what to fucking pack. But other than that,
she doesn't communicate well on her trips though. And the thing is to Kenya, and this is the thing, if we're going to hold other people to certain standards for trips, we're going to hold Kenya to the same standards. Kenya do better. Okay, it's 15 seasons in. We need you to give us better trips, damn it. That's just do better.
That's not her ministry.
Well, you need to hire someone. Do better. Do better. And then also, when it comes to the upscale event, whatever, your team should have been talking to the people.
I agree.
Your team, and I understand why last episode you was yelling at them because your team should have been talking to the people. Hey, we are filming. Is there a place for them to sit? You're Kenya Moore. make sure your accommodations are gonna be good. Because again, if it would have been Candy, she would have just been like, okay, we're gonna go with the flow. Candy would have been like, nah, somebody gonna fix this, or we have to leave. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, if you're Kenya Moore, if you're the Kenya Moore, well, they need to make accommodations for you. You need to have your team on top of that as well, because you are Kenya of a certain class, of a certain standard. So don't get
it was weird that they were like, we got to kick y'all out because y'all taking more attention. Like, they're reality housewives. Like, what the was you thinking about when you asked her to show?
It was probably because they weren't giving autographs and taking pictures. You know what I'm saying? It probably was, well, you're not going to do that for them. Then y'all got to go.
But that could be something that you arranged with her team.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I said. Everything about it, to me, fell on more of the organizer. Her team definitely should have, like, double check the accommodations, but like the organizer of that event or whoever the promoter was or just whatever was just and
if it was just they wanted her and not to film, they should have had a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like
it feels, everything about this particular Birmingham trip feels like an organizer type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put it on Kenya per se, but yeah, Kenya's team should have double checked, because y'all 15 seasons, 14, 10 seasons in, like, this is ridiculous. But other than that, it sounds like an organizer thing, and Marlo needs to be in a mental institution. Because what is that? You put your 65-foot self door in the property of a hotel and was up here yelling out Summer's middle name of Kenya Moore to do what, ma'am? To do, and then when she said, why are you banging on my fucking door? My daughter's in here. And she said to put Brooklyn in another room. Let me tell you something. You might be used to that because you could put your goddamn nephews with your sister. So maybe it doesn't register to you. But if Kenya would have came out and fought Bigfoot, I'd have been here for it. If she would have opened that door and gave her what she was asking for, because I'm not the type of person that don't believe violence shouldn't happen. If Kenya would have came out and beat her ass in that towel, I'd have been here for it. Because you're not going to bang with your nasty 72-foot self on this property door of the hotel while my child, a 3-year-old child, is sleeping, and I'm not gonna beat your ass. It's just not gonna happen.
I want you to hold this feeling, Karma, because I am so sure somewhere throughout this season somebody's gonna want to whoop Kenya's ass too, and I don't want you to defend it.
I'm fair. I'm super fair. Like, I be believing people should be getting their ass beat sometimes.
I do feel like I would have drop kicked Marlo in the throat if she did that on my door. I 100% agree.
But I'm gonna give you this. I didn't like the way Kenya talked to Monyetta.
Me neither. About
because Kenya comes off sometimes with a condescending tone.
Yeah.
That I don't like the way she talked to Monyetta. Really, Monyetta? We're going to a charity event. Like, I didn't like the way she talked to her assistant. Yeah. You need to share your location at a time, like Kenya has, or they capture her in a condescending tone. So I'm gonna hold both feet to the fire. We'll see if Kenya need her ass beat, but I guarantee you it's gonna be Marlo.
Oh, listen, I am agreeing on Marlo, but I've had moments, you know, like where few moments
should have got her ass beat. She should have got her ass beat when she pulled Kim Field's chair.
Oh, yes.
If she would have pulled my chair out and told me to go to my room and leave, I would have beat her and that wig or extra pieces that she had. I'd have beat Kenya's ass if she would have came in my personal space and pulled my chair and told me to go. Now we both gonna go to jail and go to hell. Because why are you in my personal space?
Yes.
Kenya should have got her ass beat for that. I wasn't fully opposed to Portia beating Kenya's ass.
I wasn't either.
I wasn't opposed to it. I just think Portia doesn't have anger management. I wasn't opposed to Monique beating Candace's ass.
Right.
However, I think Monique's like her anger was misdirected, but Candace does have a mouth. And I don't like when people with mouths think you can use your mouth as a weapon and it doesn't start fights. And
that's what we hear. Because words matter sometimes.
Words don't start wars. It does. And so you also have to be cognizant of that and not just think because if you can't fight with your words, no ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am.
Now before Okay, so before we go to the next show, Karma got some good news, y'all. Tell them about this little post I just shared right now.
Let me tell y'all something. Candied yams, in my mind, she is like getting ready to leave Ty. I sent this right away to Julie, and I already prepared Candy to let her know, like, listen, Candy has already, for the second time, responded to me and in 2023. And you see the laughing emoji. I'm making her laugh, y'all. That's how I get these hoes in these streets as a bisexual. I make you giggle. And the next thing you'll know, your legs look like this. So in my mind, I am this close from being in Candy's presence. I don't know when it's gonna happen or how it's gonna happen, but me, Mama Joyce, and Ty will have a sit down, and Candy will go from married to poly in 2.5 seconds, because me and Candy go together real bad. And if we don't go together real bad, I'll be interviewing Candy. We'll be on her speak on it with a little whatever, or I'll be on Candy Coded Nights with her and A1. However she want to decipher it, but I'm gonna have her giggling because I'm funny. I'm gonna giggle them panties off of Candy. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna be a whole story on Real Housewives. They ain't gonna say my name because they ain't gonna want to cut a check. But they be like, rumor is that Candy slept with some person on Facebook. Like, you're
gonna have a whole Bolo moment.
Candy gate, Facebook gate, content creator gate. You know she always be sharing content creators. I heard word on the curb. She said with one. It's gotta be.
Y'all tell the streets, which is Mama Joyce. Tell the streets.
Because listen, when she with me, we gonna have some boundaries up in this place, and we gonna put Mama Joyce in the places respectfully. Candy gonna be healed. She gonna be balanced. Her pH gonna be balanced. Her work life and stuff gonna be balanced. She gonna be a whole different person. And then I'm gonna send her back to Ty because he's a real nigga too. And I'm gonna just see her when she come up here to see me. And that's gonna be what it is. So let's just get a pin in it that y'all can run back the audio. Me, Candy, and Ty gonna have an understanding. No, I'm not gonna touch Ty. I don't want him, but I'm gonna eat the hell out of candied yams. What Portia said? What you did that, Portia? You said that night you wanted to eat me till I come. That's me. That's me. You can run it back. You can run it back.
Y'all hear that? Remember this moment. I'm gonna actually clip it out too, just so we can
clip it out. So when y'all see us, we can run it back. I'm letting y'all know I'm interviewing Beyonce one day. Candy Yam's gonna put us in her speak on it. She gonna come back. Like when I say I have a list of celebrities that I'm interviewing on this phone, it's already happened. I've already manifested. I'm gonna let Candy come to me because bitch, this is twice. I ain't got no followers. Got 4 subscribers on YouTube and 10 subscribers on Twitter. But my baby felt me because that's what
all right, y'all. Part 2. Love and Marriage Huntsville. We are in season 6, episode 9. So I'm gonna just go to
the good part.
Yeah, to a few key moments. All right. So what I did like was how it opened up. Melody, this is the only scene she was in. She was doing the property preservation, and Kimmy came through and she introduced Kimmy to somebody because Kimmy said she was ready to get back into work. So she did hook that up, and then she had a real genuine moment with Kim where she was saying she was proud of her, and she's fought through this, and I was trying to get back to business. And it was like a nice moment. The reason that I wanted to highlight this quickly was because the show was supposed to be based off of Black success and then businesses and all that kind of stuff. And Melody is still trying to show us that with the stuff she's doing, even though she's the center of the controversy in this show. She gave us working. She showed networking. There you go. Show the millimeter shirt. Because this is what the show that she actually pitched was supposed to be about. So I just wanted to say I learned a lot about property preservation just in that quick amount of time. You know what I'm saying? It's a $1 billion industry. You can get with these banks and fix up the property and get checks off of this. Like, it was really nice stuff she was saying. And I know this wasn't like drama, but it was like, I need more reality like this. I don't need all of the crap.
But that's what OWN is for. So I thought. Why Carlos want to keep reviewing, because I love you, Carlos King. But why you keep reviewing like the issues with RHOA and stuff like that? OWN is a different audience, and that's what I was supposed to get from OWN. This is like Iana Vansland and Dr. Phil and Soul Sunday's platform, right? Yeah. Like, this is what I wanted from them, and I really adored in this scene that Kimmy purposely did not tell melody that Sheree was at the event, because you damn right. I don't want nobody telling me they seen my baby daddy, because that had nothing to do with
me. And Melody told her, she said, Melody said, I don't want to be updated on Martell.
I don't want to be, because that don't have nothing to do with her.
And that was nice that she respected it, because she said that. And this is what we were talking about earlier on the other show. I don't want to film with somebody. I don't want to talk about somebody. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, that's reality. That's how I am. If I'm not rocking with somebody, I don't want Karma to sit and tell me, oh, you know, girl, I don't rock with them, so I don't really care what they got going on. Like, and that's the truth.
And I can tell y'all in real time, what my baby daddy is doing right now is none of my business. When you're not in a good space with your co-parents and partner, that's not something, you don't need to know their personal business or bring it back to me or mention me in a situation. Like, whatever they got going on is on them. You know, so I appreciate Kimmy as the woman and not the reality star. Realized that, was just like, I'm not.
It made good TV too, y'all. We was okay with that. It wasn't like I ain't seen nobody say, Kimmy should have said that. You know what I mean? Like, no one complained, because it was real. Y'all gotta start giving us real conflict too. Like, y'all be making this stuff contrived, and it just like it don't work in our brain. And this is why these shows is dropping, because we like, man, that ain't even ain't no way.
Tiffany and Kiki is contrived beef. It's trivial. It's stupid. It's dumb. Yeah. We don't want it.
Which is why they're able to film and be in the car together and all that kind of stuff. You know, they're fine. So, Stormy meet up with Tiffany. Don't care. Stormy just feels like the name makeup, it ain't authentic. And they should, like, really, if they're going to really make up, they need to hash out the stuff and get all the issues out. And it's like, Stormy, shut up. Fall back. Like, I'm sorry. Just fall back. You are not the doctor. Let him handle that. Okay, so Tisha and Kiki, they're in the car. They talk about the drama. One thing is Letitia tells us that the streets saying that Tiffany is cheating on Lou. That was some stuff. Okay.
You know what, Tisha? Because I'm still mad you got my name, but I love you anyway, sis. You better be able to stand 10 toes on it, because you were the same one crying when Martell said that Marsau had 20 women and the whole internet thinks your husband is definitely cheating on you. So you gonna put these cheating allegations rumor off of, even though Tiffany is rude as hell, her questions was valid. Why are you kicked out of a goddamn office space when you're the majority owner? Right. So if you gonna go this low, you better have them up the receipts ready.
And be ready when she come back. Be ready when she come back to your marriage.
Be ready to come back. You better not be crying. You better not be having no mental breakdown. You better not be asking Marsau for help. If you gonna say Tiffany is cheating on Lou, you better be ready for it.
Yeah, because you know Tiffany coming.
I can't wait for it. I'm here for slow, Tisha. But if you gonna do it, you better be ready to stand.
And I'm not saying you can't do it, Tisha, because again, she came saying something to you. You was offended. Cool. But the way you handled it, throwing out a street accusation.
You was offended because it's for real.
Yeah.
These questions is for real. That's why it was like, it's not that Tiffany lied. It's that the truth made you uncomfortable. So if you gonna sit around here and you want guns blazing, Tisha better be ready to stand 10 toes in. And I know the fuck that she better not be crying and shit on this goddamn reunion.
And you know,
because Tiffany hit below the fucking. I don't want to hear shit about below the belt, because you put a whole cheating allegation on somebody's marriage out in the forefront. So let's do it, bitch.
Let's go. Let's
do it. All right, I'm here for it. Let's do it.
We'll go to an ultrasound. Lou said he think the baby gonna make her slow down. She don't think so. She thinks she gonna get right back in the office and be able to do it. Okay, so then we get to Maurice, Kimmy, and Monster, right? They're having an issue. We talked about this before, where she feels like Monster needs to do chores more, participate more, and he's not respecting when she says do it, he's not doing it. You know what I mean? And her husband is not enforcing it or whatever. So Maurice is now having Monster in boot camp. He got to get up by like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. They go work out, and they got these goals or whatever. These 20 goals, a list of 20 goals that he's supposed to be getting. So Kimmy's like, okay, so it's chores on those goals. Chores not on those goals. So this basically means to Maurice, chores is not important. Even though Kimmy has said this to him before, he needs to get this done. And Maurice has agreed, yeah, you're right. You're not implementing it in your boot camp, in your plan, because it's not important to you. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to let you say one. Go, right? I'm going to just say this one thing.
Come on, you better speak on it, because I see it. It's right in here. It's in your chat. It's in your chat.
Maurice, right? Not last season or the season before, we see Maurice is upset with Kimmy because he wants sex, right? He wants sex every day, and he's not getting sex every day. Then his wife ends up getting cancer, right? And has to go through chemo and treatments or whatever. I'm sure he was scared with her. Oh my God, this is crazy. We go through this. So we're on this season now. She's still dealing with cancer. Let's be clear. Kimmy is still going through radiation treatments as we are watching the show. So cancer's not over. She's done with chemo, but she's not done with the treatment. So she's still having to go get treatments for cancer. This is his wife, right? Stay with me, y'all, right? Now, not only that, but she has to clean the house, and you're not helping with the chores. You got your son living there full time, took it from his mama, because a man needs to raise him now. So you done brought your son in, and he's not cleaning. So now your wife, who has cancer, has had chemo, right? Completed chemo. It's lowered her sex drive, because that's some of the effect of chemo sometimes. So now her sex drive is lower. She's done had chemo treatments, and now she's having radiation treatments. Then she got to bring her ass home to clean up after you and your funky ass son, and you ain't doing nothing. So my only thing is, Maurice, don't ask her for no sex. Absolutely, don't ask her for shit. Not head, not anal, not a kiss, not a little bit of twat. You get nothing, because your wife is going through treatment for cancer, and you got her being your nanny and your maid. When we say stuff like Maurice is the best one, and our Marceau is so misogynistic and sexist, I think Maurice is even more that way. And he's even more of a scumbag because he tries to hide like he's a good one. At least we know who Marceau is when we watch it. But just the way he's doing Kimmy, and she's going through cancer, that nigga is trash. I don't care what nobody say. I was like so disgusted with Maurice. And that's all I got, bruh.
You watched Insecure, right? When that was going on.
Yeah.
Remember that season when Tiffany at the bank, at Huntington Bank, I don't know if she worked at Huntington, but that's my bank. When she worked at Huntington and she told Lawrence, like, you the worst type of nigga because you a fuckboy that think you a good nigga.
Yes.
That's Maurice.
That is.
I put on Twitter, because I live tweet for Love and Marriage Huntsville, but I can't for RHOA because I watch it on Peacock the next day. But I said on Twitter that it was interesting, the first scene where Kimmy saw Melody, and they kind of had a conversation about the woes of co-parenting right now. She never mentioned that there was a boot camp to Melody. Like, she had hope that, Maurice, she didn't mention that. This is the reality of the situation. I put it on Twitter, and I hope, Kimmy sees it. Maurice, or Monster, or Little Maurice, is treating you and not listening to you because your husband don't.
Period.
He's emulating his father. You're a non-factor when you speak, because you're a non-fucking factor when your husband does. Like, he doesn't listen to you. We've seen it. You told him you needed help, and you call Kiwi or Kawa, whatever. You call him a baby mama. That's not what she asked you to do. You don't listen to your wife. She says, I want to celebrate my milestone, and you tell her, I don't think we should because we still got that. You don't listen to what she's saying. And until y'all get to the root of that, y'all gonna end up on the road of destruction, because Kimmy's gonna be tired of not going to be listened to and feeling like she has to keep dimming her light down for you to feel comfortable. Tisha may not, but Kimmy will eventually. I feel like Kimmy will leave Maurice before Tisha leaves Maurice.
Oh yeah. I'm not seeing a long marriage. Like, Maurice, bruh. And this is a very intelligent woman. Kimmy is smart. And the thing is, Kimmy is also emotionally smart, right? So Kimmy can have a conversation. She is the best communicator on this show. Like, Kimmy is like super intelligent. She's not gonna stay with you, dude. You keep this up, you're gonna lose her. You are going to lose your wife with your behavior, with the way you're treating her, with the way you're ignoring her, with the lack of any compassion for her. Like, the fact that your wife is going through cancer and you ain't cleaning. She still got to do the chores. Even though she's going through radiation. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm thinking, if I catch some type of life, altering disease that my village is gonna step up and not want me to do no fucking chores.
But what was it like when she was doing treatment? I want to know if you're having these issues now and you're well and you're walking around and doing stuff. Then what did the house and shit look like when you were down?
Mm-hmm.
How was Monster not in the house? This is where production pisses me off. There are questions in the confessional I would be asking for clarification. Yeah. So you're having issues with co-parenting now. What was the co-parenting style like when you were in treatment? Was Monster not home? And so you only seen this after, you were welling up, or was you living in filth and didn't say anything?
Did he hire help?
And then did he hire help? Like, what was that dynamic during that time? Where's Jalen? Was Jalen coming also to support you in the household? Like, was your house still being maintained? Let's say Monster was still with Kiowa. Okay, so what was like the everyday chores and things? Did you hire someone? Did Jalen kind of come? I would be asking in those confessionals way more questions for clarification. Yeah, and they never do.
They don't. You're right. Okay, so let me go back to my notes. So I was real irritated about that. This shows that this show can be okay without y'all hanging on to Mel and Martell's drama. There's other stuff to discover with these other couples, because that right there was triggering to me.
Only Kimmy and Marcel are more for Kimmy than Marcel. Well, wait, Maurice. Mm-hmm. I with Marcel and Tisha, they have some real issues there, but they want to be the next. The way that is presented, because I know that the Love and Marriage Huntsville people be watching these bloggers. Yeah, they do. So the way that it is edited and presented to us, you always say everything is fine, Tisha and Marcel, in your arrangement, right? Yes. Like y'all don't give authentic and really what's really going on or what you really have problems with. But Kimmy has always been, like you said, very emotionally intelligent to say, I don't like that. Mm-hmm. So I particularly love that we're seeing more of what Kimmy is having a problem with, because Kimmy is the Cynthia of RHOA. Yeah. She is very calm. She can get everyone together, but she also gives me storyline of her own shit in her marriage. Mm-hmm. Unlike Tiffany, because I still don't know what the fuck going on with her alone.
Right. And we know it's something, because Dr. What was his name?
Francis.
Francis.
We never saw y'all again after that damn trip. Something is wrong with Tiffany and Lou's marriage. There's some foundational cracks that they do not want to show, and that pisses me off, because Tiffany is the Sheree of Love and Marriage.
For sure. That's why that whole little showdown between the two of them was interesting. That might have been Yeah, I didn't care that Tiffany pulled a Sheree on Sheree. I was kind of like,
like they're the same person. You don't like Tiffany because she asked the questions and things you do on RHOA, and that bothered you because who the fuck is y'all to be asking me these questions, because no one asked you on RHOA because you bring back the bones that people don't think about. Well, why were they comfortable, Sheree, with you saying, or what did you say in that moment, or da 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 da. They don't ask you that. So Tiffany was like your that Spider-Man meme with the
and that's why I think that is exactly why I wasn't bothered, because normally Tiffany's lines of questioning does bother me, and I'd be like, if you don't sit your like, you know what I mean, like I'll be like when she brought up the monster stuff, or when she brought up Marcel and Tisha the first time meeting them, like it was like, hold on, cuz like you coming real crazy. But for this, I was here for it. I was like, get your check. I was not mad.
Tiffany got an ass whooping on layaway, though, when that baby dropped.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not going to be mad if some wigs is moved. I'm just being, I told you, I'm not the person, even though I'm Christian. David fucked up Goliath. I'm not the person that be like, there's no such rules for violence. Tiffany going to meet her match. I don't know when it's going to happen. But Tiffany does way too much for that ass, but not the beat.
But Tiffany sit back on her baby bump and say it like, yeah, I asked it. Like it means like she knows she's pregnant, so she can do it. And it is hilarious to me. So speaking of Tiffany, next scene, Martell and Marsau get together. They meeting because they going over the books because the boy still ain't took his builder's test and he still ain't passed.
I'm fit to buy that. I'm fit to go and Google and I'm fit to find a practice builder's exam because bitch, this can't be that hard. It can't be that hard. I'm 2 seconds away from finding a practice exam to see how the fuck I do. Like, can I read something and figure it out? Because it can't be this hard.
You gonna pass. You gonna pass.
He's had this same storyline since he divorced me, and I think they've been divorced now for 3 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead. That bothers me.
They're meeting because Marceau is supposed to help him pass, right? And he's supposed to help Marceau work out. Like that was their little trade. But Martell still ain't, whatever. So they talking or whatever. And then he was like, yeah, I got Tiffany coming to meet up. We're supposed to meet up about this event, but I got to talk to her because, she was talking to Sheree and it was crazy. So Tiffany pull up. So then Martell asked Tiffany the question. She thinks she there for something else, but he really like, are we supposed to talk about that? But no, yesterday you was asking my girlfriend, my friend girl, all these questions, and I just felt it was inappropriate. And I'm asking, did you ask her this? And she like, yep. Did you say this? Yep. Like,
let me tell you, MVP award goes to low-key Marceau because when Marceau said, oh, gasp, what type of person ask these questions? Because I didn't know anything about this. Had me on the floor.
Because Martell did not prep him with the stuff she said. So he is watching it like
in real time. Like, what?
You asked her that? Yeah, I did.
Oh my God.
I'm pregnant. What you gonna do?
Ooh, that shit was hilarious.
It was crazy because again, I do feel like Martell's questions is valid because the audacity of you to ask these questions. She asked crazy ass
optics is wrong because that's what it boils down to. Do you think the optics of two men questioning Tiffany about the way that she questioned Sheree was wrong? Because that's what the argument is. It's like 50-50 on Twitter. It's not that Martell didn't have a right to ask what is wrong, but did he need to go at Tiffany, who is also pregnant and also a woman, about your concerns? Or should he have said, hey, Lou, we cool. I need you to go talk to your wife because she was inappropriate about that.
Okay, so I feel like I'm with both sides of them. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand both sides of it. I feel like the proper thing would have been to say, bring Lou with you. You and Lou come here. I do feel like he should have been able to ask her those questions that he asked her and I don't feel like he needed to ask Lou those questions because Big Lou, the thing about sometimes when you tell somebody something, they go back and they tell the story, they're not going to make themselves look bad, right? So if you would have said your wife did this, go talk to her, and Lou would have talked to her, Tiffany would have made it seem like, oh, I didn't do it. Wasn't, you know what I mean? Like she wouldn't have really gave Lou what the hell she did. She was wrong as hell. So the way Martell presented it to her, how Marceau was like, you ain't asked that. Lou could have been there too, like Tiffany. You know what I'm saying? Like, so she could be like, yeah, I did, but your husband could understand how wrong your ass was. So I think that he should have been able to ask her those questions, like to her face, but I think her husband should have been present.
And Marceau should have excused himself because really there was no need for Marceau to be there. And the optics of two men questioning them, like, if I had an issue with your spouse, I would not have went to your spouse. I would have said, hey, Candy, like when we were out, he said these different types of things because there's a rapport, right? There's a friendship there, right? Yeah. I don't think Martell was, like you said, wrong for wanting to ask those questions. I just didn't understand, why did you tell Tiffany she was going to be there for something else, knowing you wanted to talk to her about the situation and not have Lou present? Yeah. Knowing that as men, right? Like, y'all get that. Like, that's an understanding between y'all because y'all all misogynistic. So, like, you should have just went ahead as well and including Lou into that conversation, knowing that his wife is like 9 months pregnant. You shouldn't have been asking her nothing without her there. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay, so Marceau could have definitely
wrong though.
Marceau could have totally excused himself, like you said. I understand why Marceau didn't excuse himself. That was like live action tea, huh? what? Like, you know, and I'm gonna take you back
we
to
would call Marcel, Marina, you would be upset because we playing with your masculinity.
But he already
Marina
acted like that.
You're acting like he needed the motherfucking tea.
No, the way he posts that picture of them in Atlanta, you know he like tea.
You know you like tea. You be sitting here acting like your masculinity is beneath this drama and this trivial shit, but you was ready to sit at that table and listen to that TV
spiel. And I get why I would have wanted to stay for the show. Can I just sit back and watch? I won't say nothing type of thing.
I would have said something, but I love a little bit of tea. Now, I don't like toxic tea, but in that case, I love a little bit of tea because you're right, because she was rude. That was uncouth to her. Who asked those questions with somebody they just met? Right. I also think that Sheree should have been
there. Yeah.
I think it should have been a conversation with everybody because Sheree is new. I can understand, but I also don't know why Sheree didn't check Tiffany in her presence. I don't get it. I would have told Tiffany from jump, oh, sweetie, I don't know. You must not know who I am, but we're not going to continue with this type of banter because what I do with Martell is my business. So I don't have to answer your questions because who going to check me, boo? You're not getting that off of me. I don't even know who you are to think that you can come to me with these types of questions. We could talk about the event. We could talk about your pregnancy. What are you naming your son? But what we're not going to talk about is whether or not I met Mel and all this. That has nothing to do with you. My legs are not open to you. But thank you for your concern. But that's my vagina. I got this. Tell me about you, Sweet Pea, because that's not what we're going to talk about. I don't understand why Sheree didn't check that shit in the moment.
Sheree should have just said joggers. That's what she should have said. She should have joggers her.
How did you let your veteran self on reality TV take that goddamn bait?
And Sheree is pretty good with a comeback too. She's normally pretty good. So maybe she was just
so like, oh,
she was shocked.
She was shocked. Why are you shocked? Like, because Love and Marriage Huntsville's on own, you thought these girls don't give what needs to be given?
They must not listen. Because we watch these shows simultaneously. I've watched Love and Marriage Huntsville since it started. Like, I have been watching it. So I feel like maybe
since Short Hair Male with the
with the blonde. So maybe these reality stars like Sheree and them on Bravo didn't think that a little Love and Marriage Huntsville, like maybe they never seen the show or heard about the show. Although I feel like the show was big. I feel like Love and Marriage
said she watched it. She said, because I know you're a cheater, because I watched your show. Yeah. So Sheree, you watched it, so you knew Tiffany was messy. Right. So I'm not even under, because I wouldn't have had to bring shit back to Martell, but a story of how I handled it. Oh, before you know, your friend Tiffany, you know, she tried to ask me some inappropriate questions. This is what I said to her, just in case it gets back that I cussed out a pregnant lady. I did not, but I told her we're going to redirect this conversation. I don't need you to talk to no goddamn body. That's a woman. What do I'm going to tell you, baby girl, this is not appropriate. You can ask me my favorite color and some other shit, but you're not going to ask me about my pussy. Are you interested? This is why I can't be on reality TV. Y'all not catching me with that goddamn bait. I don't care if it's Tiffany or Marlo, aka Oliver Twist, who also was an orphan if you didn't read. She's not catching me in that BS because I'd have been looking at both of them. I'm not sure what you think you're doing. I'm not sure what the producers told you to do. But that's not happening here, beloved. That's not happening here. It's not happening here. That was the best part of Love and Marriage Huntsville was the back and forth with Tiffany.
Yeah.
And then she went back and told Lou like she was a victim. That's what made me fly down the wall. Your friend came up to me and was talking to me. I'm like, Tiffany.
But that's why, and this is like, even if people on Twitter that felt like Martell shouldn't have did it, 2 men doing that, whatever, like was okay. This is why I felt like he should have just called Lou in on it, because Tiffany can run back and play victim. Even though you big and bad, you doing all this. How did you not tell your husband after the party what you did? Like, if you shady.
This is what I'm saying. Martell, to me, in my personal opinion, allegedly, I think Martell is verbally abusive anyway. And so you talking to women crazy is like a pattern for him at this point. And so I feel like when Lou told Tiffany, I'm going to call Lou and talk to him, why you ain't do that first? You can't wait to talk to a chick crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you can't wait to do something inappropriate, to manipulate the situation, to gaslight, to do whatever. Even though Tiffany was wrong for the line of questioning she did with Sheree, the fact that she was a woman, you still felt like she can come to you, and you have a history of seasons that show us that you Patricia. That's what you did to Kenya. You could have simply told Sheree, hey, babe, this is what I sent her. I'm not going back and forth with your little friend. That's what I would have said. The stud in me would have said, the stud in me would have said, I'm not going back and forth for her. This is my text message. If you have questions, come to me. I'm not arguing with your little friend.
Right.
Because she need a moment. I'm not doing that. If you're okay with that and you trust me, we moving forward. But no, Martell had to do all of this. Martell is the Patricia.
I'm gonna need listen.
He's
I'm gonna need men. I'm gonna need men to know how to be men better than Karma.
Why am I going back and forth with a bitch I'm not fucking? I'm not doing that.
Oh my God.
I don't do that with niggas I talk to. If you ask me about why this person, I'm not doing that with men I talk to, because men be getting in their feelings too, and I tell them the same thing. Listen, babe, you're important, but you're not hitting my Facebook. And these are the reasons why I'm not going back and forth with somebody that like my picture. I'm not doing that with you. So like, I don't understand Martell's frame of mind, because I would have never went back and forth with lying ass Tiffany about shit. I'm never gonna talk to you. Like, it's not gonna happen. So yeah, Martell need a real nigga he worried about you. But if Martell needs lessons from a real nigga, he can come see me for real.
I'm sorry, the way you did that,
you can come see a real nigga.
Oh, the way you explained it just was like, oh, and Martell, you act way more feminine than that, and that is not masculine energy. So just for men, especially the 3 men on this show that are so manly and masculine, they gotta be, a certain kind of way, because how men, y'all need to pay attention to that. I'm gonna need y'all not to have less masculine energy and Karma. I'm gonna need y'all.
I can help you, right? Listen, I can help you, give you some tips on Monster as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can help you with that, Maurice, because if you have a boot camp, you need to incorporate is this going to be a measurable outcome? Is this going to be helpful? Is he going to listen? What is the difference between this boot camp and you telling him what to do? What is the difference? We could have had that conversation. I can help y'all, because unfortunately, as a single parent, guess what? We got to tap in masculine and feminine energy. So you can come to a real nigga. You can come on and DM me if you need some advice, because Danae Jackson up here selling $5,000 courses for Proverbs and Psalms.
Right. While we're talking about that, before you even reach out to Karma to get lessons on how to be more masculine and operate in your masculinity, I'm gonna need y'all to get these journals, okay? Because she has these. Because when y'all talk to her, she's gonna give you some tips, and you're gonna have to take notes.
And I have a masculine book with weed smoke that I did for my little brother, because he needed a composition notebook in college. So I got 2 niggas on there too. If you go to my Amazon account, and we can talk to this, because I'm unlicensed. Let me make that clear. But I can give you some advice that y'all listening to the internet anyway and tweets. I can give you some advice and some guidance on some things we can work out. But this I always want to talk about independent women. You non-masculine need to come to the forefront. You might can learn something. And then when you learn and you are in marriages, you can buy a candy book. Go ahead and put it on the screen.
Right. So that's going for the ladies and the friends. Because again, we call everybody out. We call the men out and we call the women out, because that's what we do. Sometimes we fuck up too, ladies. So this book is actually about us and 10 ways that we can sabotage and mess stuff up. And I did it a lot. And I also tell other stories, because I did talk radio for 10 years and had call-in shows. So y'all get a lot of information in a very quick read. So that's on Amazon as well. We out there, y'all support us, show us some love, because we're coming back next Friday. Well, no, we're coming back Friday. Actually, Friday. We're
Back Friday.
Friday.
Hot topics is Friday though.
Right.
If you got some, because I be on the internet, but I don't be on the internet. At the same time, I only go down my friend feed, and I have selected friends. So like if it's not with that, I don't really know what's going on per se. So if you got topics, you can DM her, you can DM me, and send us the topics, and maybe your topic might make the list for Friday.
Yeah, well, let me talk about it. It'll be fun. So that's Friday at 7 p.m. And then we'll be back next Wednesday at 7 with another review. So thank you guys so much for kicking it with us. Thank you for the ones that's in the playback. Leave the comments in the YouTube and I will comment back. We love you guys and we will talk to you.
Have a good night.
Friday.
Bye.